Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here for the Postalytics Direct Mail Automation Overview webinar. We met many of you at Inbound recently. Others have been involved in us through different channels. And we want to thank everybody for taking a little bit of time out of your day to take a look at Postalytics. So we'll start by talking about why you should use Postalytics. Will be pretty clear. First, organizations, marketers all around the country are finding that the cost of customer acquisition using digital marketing techniques is rising rapidly. A recent study from Price Intelligently, which is a market research firm, has found that on average, the cost of customer acquisition has risen by 55% over the last 5 years. And so as folks keep doing the same digital marketing over and over again and are competing more for pay-per-click pricing, social media pricing, and search engine optimization, it's getting harder and harder to stand out and retain, gather and retain customers. Direct mail, on the other hand, does stand out. The mailbox is uncrowded. Direct mail volumes have dropped about 30% since 2008. There's been a whole lot of junk mail that is no longer being sent. And because of that, there's an opportunity for marketers to use the mailbox and use printed material to deliver your message directly in the hands of your clients. This is one of my favorite quotes. This is from the founder of Marketo, one of the companies that has invented marketing automation and sits at the center of so much digital marketing. And he says, direct mail is a great way to break through the digital noise. Postalytics is a tool that we've developed to give marketers enterprise-level direct mail with measurement, with integration, and at a fraction of the time, the people, and the pain associated with traditional direct mail. We'll review what we mean by that here as we go along. And then finally, marketers are able to leverage their investment in Salesforce, in HubSpot, in other CRM or marketing automation tools, because Postalytics plugs right in and enables you to sync the delivery and response from your direct mail campaigns back into your contact records, where everything else is being stored. So we think it's a no-brainer. You ought to be using Postalytics. So why is it that marketers want to use direct mail? Well, first, the studies are showing that direct mail stands out, as we said. There are very high response rates to direct mail as the technology has improved and as the mailbox has become more uncluttered. Response rates have risen. There's also new research that has come out recently that says that the human brain digests direct mail and other physical printed materials much more differently than we do digital messages that flash across our screen. And so there's 70% higher recall for brands that use direct mail. And the emotional impact, the part of the brain that uses that is used to digest direct mail and the images and copy associated with it are different and more powerful. And then finally, as we mentioned, return on investment is growing. So if you take a look at the return on investment measured in 2010 and then 2016, there's been nearly 50% growth of that return on investment. And why is that? Because the mailbox is less crowded. Combine that with better technology, and you've got a great channel waiting for you to use. So what's the problem? Traditional direct mail is extremely painful to use for anybody except for the largest mailers. So we've had the opportunity to meet with lots of huge companies that send direct mail, like Liberty Mutual in Boston. They've got 20 people and a huge agency devoted to the direct mail efforts. So they can solve all the problems that direct mail provides just by throwing people at it. Most marketers can't do that. And so having batch cycles that last 4 to 6 weeks just to get a piece of mail delivered is just too long for most folks. The fact that it's an entirely offline process that has no connection to the CRM or marketing automation platforms that everybody's investing in is another huge problem. And then finally, most mailers, when they send mail, they have no idea what happens after they send. So direct mail is like the only channel that marketers use where they have no idea. And so, the lack of ability to measure delivery or response is another big pain point. So as we mentioned, Postalytics delivers an enterprise-grade workflow integration and tracking solution. So the way that direct mail has traditionally worked, from a workflow standpoint, the reason why it takes so long is you've got all these different disparate data sources and people and companies that have to come together to make a direct mail campaign work. They're emailing files around, they're having phone calls, they're sending proofs back and forth on email, they're FTPing files. Then the print team at the printer has to replicate everything that's done beforehand. And everybody has to approve and check off on everything. So it's a massive process, huge project management effort. Then once we get that pulled together, a printer doesn't really want to talk to you unless you're doing a batch of, say, over 1,000 pieces, especially if you're doing any kind of personalization. So the notion of pulling together a small batch gets extremely expensive, and most direct mail printers don't want to deal with you. And then finally, that lack of analysis is a huge issue. The largest direct mailers will do something called a matchback analysis, where they have a bunch of MBAs sit around with spreadsheets and analyze sales trends 3 months after the fact, right? Again, most marketers can't afford to do that. So the new way is to do all of this in the cloud. Cloud software has reinvented so many industries, and now it's happening in direct mail. And so by doing all of the creation and production of direct mail in software that sits in the cloud, where there's API interaction between the print management software and the CRM and marketing automation tool, speeds the entire process up dramatically. And then having an automated workflow that transmits electronically direct mail information back and forth to the printer, to the postal service, enables you to instantly analyze everything that's happening. And so it's just a smarter, better way to do things. So Postalytics is designed to look and act like email. So our design goal is to make anybody who can produce a good-looking email campaign be able to do the exact same thing with direct mail. And so we talk all about measurement. We're able to measure both the delivery and the response to direct mail. And you get simple, clear dashboards that will show you exactly what's happened after you send. You can build templates that are reusable assets for your creative, exactly the same way you do it with email. Simple drag and drop editor, which we'll show you in a little bit, makes it super easy to put together highly personalized, very powerful postcards and letters, save them, and use them over and over again in campaigns. The whole idea of dripping individual pieces of mail out is totally new. The idea that you can send one piece of personalized, powerful direct mail out at a time has never existed before. We also can do small little batches where there are 10, 15, 20 pieces at a time or 100 pieces. It doesn't matter. The way that this system is constructed, you can send as much or as little as you want at any given time. And then finally, all of that is tied together back into your CRM. And so if you've deployed a CRM, whether it's HubSpot or Salesforce or any of the dozens that are connected to us through Zapier, you've got the ability to capture all of that response and delivery data, as well as do the triggering from the workflows from those CRMs. Postalytics delivers the mail through what are called Tier 1 printer mailers spread out around the country. We've put together a network of these printer mailers that have all agreed to a common service level agreement. They'll turn your mail around within 2 business days. It'll be printed, it'll be sorted, it'll be delivered to the U.S. Postal Service, and it will be tracked. And it's all done electronically. You don't have to be on the phone. You don't have to be speaking to printer salespeople or pre-press operators. You don't have to be emailing files back and forth. It's all done digitally. The workflow power that exists in marketing automation is something that has really changed the game for so many marketers. And so our ability to trigger individual pieces of mail out when workflow steps are reached is a total game changer. And so you're able to combine channels, use email and direct mail together to reach your audiences at every stage of the funnel, from acquisition through retention and loyalty. And all that can be done just by setting up campaigns that run 24/7 in the background while you're sleeping, while you're working. These campaigns are working for you. Our pricing is another complete innovation here. We've got simple plans, free, marketer, and pro or agency, that have a subscription tier associated with them. And then we have flat, all-in, per piece fees for letters, for postcards. And as you move from free through the various subscription tiers, you'll get better pricing, you'll get more features, and you'll get discounts as you do more volume. We try to keep it super simple. We don't have to worry about postage and paper and software and all that stuff. It's all just bundled together. So now we'll hop